علي علي مولا علي علي مولا علي علي مولا علي 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 مولا علي علي مولا علي علي مولا علي.
اللهم اشهد إني سألت في مسجد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم فلم يعطني أحد شيئا.
إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون.
To begin, let's take a look at his video and see what he says, and then we will break it down and refute his arguments, inshallah. Shias used a verse in the Quran of chapter 5 verse 55 to prove the successorship of Ali alayhi salam to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Sunnis claim this doesn't refer to Ali alayhi salam, however their own books disagree with them. Now let's watch his video.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today's episode is going to be about Ayat Al-Wilaya, as Shias call it. If a Sunni asks a Shi'i, is there any proof of successorship for Ali radiallahu anhu, the chances are that you're going to run into a Shi'i quoting this verse. Pickthall translates this as, your guardian can only be Allah and His Messenger, and those who believe, who establish worship and pay the poor due and bow in prayer.
And the first thing I noticed was he quoted the verse wrong. He claims to be refuting the Shias, yet he can't even quote the Quran properly. It's chapter 5 verse 55, and he quoted it as chapter 5 verse 56. So to begin, he doesn't even know what verse of the Quran he is referring to. Anyway, this proves the limited knowledge he has, or that he already has, and that he isn't worth a refutation. But since we've started this, let's do it anyway. Now the verse that he actually was supposed to quote was chapter 5 verse 55. Now there's a little confusion about the translation of this verse. This is how Sunnis wrongly translated. Pickthall in 555 says, your guardian can only be Allah and His Messenger and those who believe, who establish worship and pay the poor due and bow down in prayer. Now is this the correct translation? No, and I'll prove why now. The argument that we Shias use here is that the verse ends with وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ, which cannot translate as and bow down. But looking at the grammatical law, the correct translation of this verse of وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ is while they are bowing down, because it is past tense. The zakat in the verse is given whilst being in a state of ruku. Not that zakat is given and they bow down, because this translation is grammatically incorrect. Now here are other Quran translators, namely Sunnis, who have also translated this verse, and they have translated it the way the Shias do, which is the correct way. Shakir has translated it as, only Allah is your wali and His Messenger, and those who believe, those who keep up prayers and pay the poor rate while they bow. And translated again by another person here who says, your friend is but Allah and His apostle, and those who have believed, those who have established the prayer and give the poor rate while they bow down. So now that we have established the correct translation and meaning, the next point I will clear is what wilaya is this verse talking about? Because Sunnis use the word in this verse as wali, as friend. So does Allah mean friend in this verse? Well, in this verse Allah used the singular form waliyakum, innama waliyakum Allah, implying the wilaya, the guardianship of the believers, is a single project. In other words, the wilaya of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wa alihi and that of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam springs from the root of Allah's wilaya. The word wali in this context of this verse cannot mean friend, because there is not a single verse in the Quran where Allah says that any one of His messengers is a friend or a helper of their followers. Further, if this verse implied wilaya in the sense of friend or helper, then the singular form waliyakum would not have been used, but the plural form of awliya'akum would have been more appropriate, because the friendship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is unique. So now that we see that the believers in this verse must have been given zakat whilst being in the state of ruku, not someone who gives zakat and someone who bows down. And we also see that by wali Allah does not mean friend, but in fact is referring to guardianship and leadership. Now the Sunnis use one more argument here. They say if this verse was referring to Ali, then why is the plural used? Why does Allah say وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ, and those people who believe? Who are those people if this is only referring to Ali? The refutation that we Shias use is when Allah mentions in the Quran in chapter 3 verse 61, known as Ayat al-Mubahila. To the Prophet he says, وَنِسَاءَنَا وَنِسَاءَكُمْ, bring your women and tell them to bring their women. Yet the Prophet only brings Fatima. So using the same argument here, why does Allah refer to the plural if Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi brings the singular? Hence showing the plural can be used whilst referring to the singular in terms of honor. Now that I have cleared all the misconceptions about this verse, let's listen to the challenge part of his video and then let's refute him.
Now my first argument is the most obvious. There is not a single authentic narration in which Ali is praying and giving alms and bowing simultaneously. In other words, it is a fabrication, and I would love for anyone to prove me wrong about this. Actually, allow me to take it up a notch. I challenge the Shias to bring me one authentic narration that proves this from either Sunni books or Shia books.
Okay, so let's show both Sunni and Shia sources with authentic chains of narrations proving that this verse was revealed in honor of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, and add him to the list of people I have refuted.
Sunni source number 1, Tafsir al-Kabir by Ahmad ibn Muhammad al-Thalabi, under Al-Ma'idah 55. Number 2, Tafsir al-Kabir by Ibn Jarir al-Tabari, volume 6, page 186, 288 and 289. Tafsir Jami' al-Hukam al-Quran by Muhammad ibn Ahmad al-Qurtubi, volume 6, page 219. Source number 4, Tafsir al-Khazin, volume 2, page 68. Number 5, Tafsir al-Durr al-Manthur by al-Suyuti, volume 2, page 293 and 294. 8, Asbab al-Nuzul by al-Wahidi. 9, Sharh al-Tajrid by Allam al-Khushaji. 10, Ahkam al-Quran by al-Jassas, volume 2, page 542 and 543. 11, Musnad Ahmad ibn Hanbal, volume 5, page 38. 12, Kanz al-Ummal by al-Muttaqi al-Hindi, volume 6, page 391. Al-Awsat by al-Tabarani, narrated from Ammar ibn Yasir alayhi salam. 14, Ibn al-Mardawiyya, on the authority of Ibn Abbas. 15, Tafsir Ibn Kathir, volume 2, page 113-114, Beirut, Lebanon, 1986. 16, Al-Riyad al-Nadira, volume 2, page 302. 17, Tafsir al-Manar, volume 6, page 366. 18, Majmu' al-Zawaid, volume 7, page 17. Now we have Shia sources as he requested. Al-Amali للشيخ الصدوق رحمه الله, page 185. Manaqib al-Abi Talib, volume 2, page 4211. Sharh al-Akhbar, volume 2, page 5572. Manaqib al-Abi Talib, so this is source number 2, volume 2, page 6211. Now we go to the Shia Tafsir. First reference Tafsir al-Qummi, and second Tafsir al-Tabrasi. You will find the reference of this link in the description. Inshallah, feel free to go and check it out for yourself. And if we made any mistake in any source, please contact us and let us know, inshallah.
And a special thanks to Brother Alsar for helping me make this video. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala